All right, welcome to the podcast. This is Brothers by Law. I'm your host, Jeffrey Stiff.
And I'm Thomas Bowman, and today we are here with
a guest.
And we're talking about hobbies.
And how they influence our lives.
So I don't know if you've had any of B-Dub's hot sauces type
It's
deal.
fucking hot.
So this is
What's acceptable language on this?
Anything.
anything.
All right.
I think
Barring
we just...
blatant racism.
Well, I mean, yeah, try not to, scream Allah Akbar in the middle of the podcast.
We have to edit it and then blink your mouth out. Because,
So, I guess we could discuss, the whole, do you want your face anywhere or no?
Oh, no, I was just curious. I'll go ahead and do it. I just don't like the idea of my face being on the internet, but fuck it. I mean, it's not
I
gonna...
can easily, distort it or whatever. Hide it.
It's not, I don't know, I just don't... Maybe later, or we can just put my face in and say, screw it.
We could do, try to get, the whole,
gonna, look up an emoji and just paste it right over top. And just, the whole time, just a smiley emoji.
He is perpetually happy at all times.
So we gotta do the whole, how they do, in the crime shows when they're hiding someone's face, distort the voice and everything.
I thought about that, but I'm not gonna go. I don't even know how to do that entirely.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I had considered that too, but it was an initial concern. But I have a paranoia about the internet, but it's probably not an issue. It's just how spiteful and hateful the internet can be. And then you're like, hey, I've got a video. Look at what Fuckface said 3 years ago, and it's just on this podcast, that's just a thing, and it's what the
I was just having fun. Why you gotta use that against me?
Yeah, what?
It's the world. They hate us.
So when do we start?
Whenever, really. So normally what we'll do is we'll record the episode, and then afterwards we'll go back and kind of think about what we talked about and kind of re-record the intro where we introduce ourselves and say, hey, that's what we're going to talk about.
Okay.
Because we found, sometimes during our recordings, there'll be something interesting that we say. We're like, ooh, let's put that in the intro. That'd be legit.
Aha.
So, it's kind of how we do it now.
Okay.
It's kind of weird, but...
A lot of people do it, though.
Do they?
Yeah. Rhett and Link, they do it on their podcast. They do it on their Good Mythical Morning. They do the intro, I think. Or at least they have an intro before the actual video for their Good Mythical Morning. I've listened to a few different podcasts that have basically record the intro after.
Okay, I'm really confused. Oh, I saw the paper and I was like, what is that paper exactly? Was it just random scratch paper you had lying around? Or... But then I saw Hobbies on the top and I was like, oh, okay.
You came prepared.
So I got a few.
I did not come prepared. I was like... I kind of have a few things to talk about, but I don't know exactly where we're going to go with this. It's probably just going to be one of those bullshit episodes where we just discuss random stuff and just go from there. Which would be kind of fun.
I have a lot of hobbies. I don't have the money for
in the FF7.
all my hobbies.
Yeah, that's the reality. That's why I was floored when I entered, and I'm like, I mean, I got hobbies, and it's all cluttered in an apartment, but this is you got space for all of them.
Yeah, that's exactly why I picked this place, actually. Because I was like, oh, I need a place with some space. Because originally, I was an apartment, and everything was so cramped. And I was like, no, I can't do that no more. And then having the kid, we were trying to figure out how to fit everything. And this place, I was like, wow, there's so much room down here. Oh, I originally had my green screens over here. But with the podcast, we're like, all right, let's take down the green screens. We'll do other stuff. But this was always my corner. And then wifey's got her room upstairs.
Aha. It's important to have your own space, for sure. Let's see, lasers. What other shit did I watch? Because I watched other things on YouTube. Yeah.
It's what? He has a laser hobby now, so he's got professional shoot holes through all lasers.
Emporium. No, but we tried doing that in college. I was the guy who funded it, and I had an electrical engineer friend, and I lost the shit. I lost all of it because I brought it to class and so I took it out and then I forgot about it. And so I had to buy again. So I double funded it, which was stupid.
Oh.
And it didn't work as well as the other laser diode.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, so you didn't buy the exact same one? You did just...
I did, same model, but it wasn't as effective. I don't know why. I have no idea why. No clue.
Should we just jump right on into the podcast then?
I think we
'Cause,
pretty much are.
I'm curious, and I'm like, yo, let's hear about these lasers.
Yeah, we're talking about lasers now. I mean, what is a better way to start a podcast than talking about lasers? Like, lasers.
Magnets. Yeah, I've got, start whenever. I don't understand how this format works.
We don't either. We've been doing this for months now.
All right,
Yeah, we
so-
keep changing it up. And we're like, all right, this time we're going to start off like this. And we're like, oh, that went pretty good. And then for some reason, next time we always change it. Like, let's do it different this time. Why not? I don't know.
So, like, how are we recording now?
Oh, yeah, I've been recording for a bit.
Okay.
So basically, I'll just hit record, and we'll just, like, sit there and be bullshitting. And then, like, later on, I'll be like, you know what? Right there's a good spot to, like, start it.
Oh, I saw the spike.
Yeah.
Nice. Cool. The audio spike.
Yeah.
So today, we're going to be talking about hobbies and how they affect your life.
Or don't affect your life.
Yeah.
Or
I guess.
don't, like, passive ones.
Yeah, like
Such a thing
Passive
exists.
hobbies? Like
Passive hobbies,
watching movies.
Well, I guess that's what does affect your life.
I don't know
though,
why
'cause-
that kind of bothers me. I'll like ask people like, "Oh, what do you like to do for fun?" And like, I like to watch movies. And you're like, that's not fun.
It's kind of like every. So there are movie watchers and people who actually get into the nitty gritty of what makes a movie
Yeah.
and the cinematography and all other stuff, but it's not exactly like cool. You got to inform me though because I know little about it. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know much at all.
I mean, like everybody watches movies.
And so yeah, it seems like
Yeah.
you're not really answering the question.
No, yeah.
Unless you get into like, well, what director, and people totally know the director or who did the sound and the actors, even the not the primary actors, but everybody else.
Yeah,
See,
And
I know none of that. I just like I don't even really watch movies.
it's like I just waste a lot of my time watching it.
Like
it's a filler.
Yeah,
if there's
a
like
hobby, yeah.
TV or a movie on, I guess usually just in the background for background noise while I stare at my phone.
All right, yeah.
That is, or like I'll watch like anime or something while I'm on the treadmill. I don't
haven't
watch
watched anime
movies.
like Naruto, you just start running like that. Like,
yeah, it's like woo! That's how you gotta do it, right? But yeah, no, like TV and movies are just not my thing. I don't care for it.
I watch a lot of it, but it's like background noise. I
Yeah.
like listening to it.
This episode is brought to you by
Bacon soda.
Lester's Fixins. Something I bought yesterday because I wanted to, and it's liquid diabetes. Bacon soda with chocolate.
Not a sponsor yet.
But if you want to be a sponsor,
We'll take anyone we can get.
This is far better than I thought it would be. You're welcome to try. Or if you're a germaphobe, you can get another, I don't know, something to
I was
pour it
like,
in.
there's 1, 2. Are you talking about the hot sauce too? Because I'm not doing that this time.
I will because I'm too curious. Like I'm
So
It's
for people who
probably
watched
really dumb.
last week, we tried some hot sauces, and that last one, the Mad Dog 357, that's what he wants to try.
It
Which
was-
is I did that my own little video on that. Well, I tried it too.
yes.
So
I watched all of it.
he is gonna try it if he
It's
wants
painful.
to. He does not have to.
It was hard to talk. Like, being on a podcast, like my
Your
mouth
tongue
was so on
hurts.
fire every time I opened it. It's like, oh.
Maybe the last 10
Make
minutes.
it quick and call
The
it a day.
tongue hurts.
The
Like it
tongue
hurts your
hurts.
tongue,
The tongue
and it lasts
hurts.
for like 20 minutes or so.
Something like that, yeah.
It'll stick.
Maybe that's the outro.
You can
The
do it
outro,
if-
like, all right, time to try
whenever
it.
you feel like trying it. It is right here.
It was rough.
Cool. Well, now it's there though. That's the thing. Is
And it's staring at
it's
you.
Constantly just there.
It's staring at you. You know, smell it first before you go and take it because it smells really good. And if you can focus on the taste, if you can get past the burn and focus on the taste, you'll be like, that is some good stuff.
It's reassuring to know that there's actual flavor in it as opposed to just.
Oh yeah, no,
Heat.
it's good.
It just it just kills your mouth.
I was like, oh, I think I had to try it a second time at one point, and I was like, no, that's really hot. Why did I do that?
Yeah.
Okay, Thomas, I got a question for you.
Yes.
You've been trying foods for a bit.
Yes.
When did you start that?
Foods.
Well, it's like the weird things, like
What foods?
Oreo comes out with some weird, flavor, or like weird cereals, or this or that. I am a picky eater. Like there are things I won't eat. Like I don't eat tomatoes. I won't eat mushrooms. Like there's
I was
certain
like,
like
what? You always have that weird food all the time.
beings I won't eat. Like there are certain
weird
foods
food.
I won't eat, but I love to explore new foods. Like I like to try new foods.
Cultural.
Anything.
Okay.
I do seem it funnier like when like a brand comes out with like I tried that Sour Patch Kids cereal, which I
remember that.
I wouldn't buy a box again, but if it was offered to me, I'd eat it.
I see. Oh, I know that mentality. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's okay. It definitely seems weird, but it's good. But I would not like go out and buy it again. But I like doing that. I like to try, and I always find like the stuff like weird cereals or like weird flavors or something. Like those seem fun. But I definitely will like I said trying the hot sauce or this and that. Or there's like new weird drinks out. Like what Coke has an energy drink now.
Not surprising. The whole goal is to get in as many markets as you possibly can.
And I think at one point Coke did a Coke and coffee.
I don't know about that.
People say it's actually really good. I've been trying. I forget to look for it or see if it's there. If anything, I'm just going to try and do it
It's
myself.
a fizzy coffee.
Yeah, I'm just going to do it myself. Like just pour coffee into
drink
some
it.
like soda or something. But
my thing is that type of stuff takes off more in Japan because they have
They
an
got some
enormous
interesting
amount of
stuff.
variety for American companies. However, the United States is so, I don't know, just unwilling to change to some degree because it's like, well, Kit Kat, we don't have the matcha green tea one. We don't have all the other varieties.
they do have a lot of crazy flavors. I used to get this thing in, and it was like they have like those boxes you get like monthly.
Yeah.
Well, I had one for snacks from all around the world, and it was actually really interesting.
So it's just like a little variety pack.
Yeah,
of
you just get a
different
couple of
snacks?
different snacks, but I started getting like repeats, so I canceled it. But it was actually some really interesting stuff in there.
I know when I went to Japan, they had like alcohol drinks that taste like soda.
Oh,
That stuff you gotta be careful with. It's like, oh, that's really good. And you keep drinking a few, and the next thing you know, it hits you really hard. Like, okay, yep, I'm done.
See, alcohol can get you like that, and there's like, especially like the sugary stuff. You get those like tubs that you like pour into like the bucket margarita thing, where it's like the mix.
The fishbowl type of stuff.
Yeah, they have like this blue Hawaiian one, and then you pour rum into it. Super sugary. You don't really feel
Wait, you
it.
have to pour rum into it?
Yeah, it's
Does
like
it
it
come with
comes
the rum?
it comes in a tub and it's got like the flavor for like a blue Hawaiian mix. You buy the rum, you pour it in because you can buy it at like Dillon's.
Oh.
And then
okay.
so you add your rum, you mix it up. You know, you can ice it or whatever, make it sort of like a slushy thing, or just drink it cold. And you start drinking it, and it tastes so good and so sugary. Next thing you know, you're passed out on the floor because you drank the whole bucket.
And then you have a headache in the next morning because it's sugar.
Yes. See, alcohol can get you like that. There is a new one I've been wanting to try, the Screwball, the peanut butter whiskey.
I just saw that yesterday for the first time. Someone made me aware of it.
I have heard good things about it.
White label,
Yeah.
white text. Don't know.
Does it
Here it's
taste-
good though.
Oh, okay, so you guys haven't tasted it yet?
Everyone I've talked to said it tastes amazing. So I am definitely, it's on my list
I
of
don't
something
know.
to try.
I don't know, it might get me.
It seems dangerous.
That's what it sounds like. Like, oh man, I
I
might drink
normally
something like, woo,
stick to just
what's
like
it getting?
vodka
It'd be all right
or
for a themed party.
whiskey. But
Theme party?
yeah.
Ooh. We gotta do something like that. We've been
Yeah.
talking about like doing an alcohol episode. Or we could like drink some alcohol or get drunk or something.
I am all for this.
We should get like
like all
whoever
figured
we've like we should do it. It's like anyone who's ever been on the podcast that can get here. Just all come over here and get drunk.
I gotta get a projector.
Land party.
It'd be kind of cool to have the projector drop down. We'll like project like a game and everybody's just like
Yeah.
trash, just play it. That's like
See-
the whole idea of this thing.
Oh.
Like we're like, oh, it'd be cool to like play games or something while talking about a subject. But we
And
get
see,
so
we gotta
distracted.
get Mario Kart going.
On point.
We gotta play the drinking Mario Kart
I've
game.
not done that, and I've heard about it, and I really want to.
It's fun.
Like, that sounds so cool.
And you remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
right?
I know what you're talking about.
That is-
Everybody keeps
that's
talking about
so
it.
It's
fun.
irresponsible to drink and drive. So you
Yeah.
It's being
Gotta
responsible.
stop.
It is fun.
Teaches you to stop and then
Yeah.
take a sip.
Yeah. Or just chug it before you go. Or right before you get
You
home.
better hurry back home before it kicks in.
Yep.
It reminds me, I had an aperitif. No, it's a digestive. It's a digestif. And what the heck is it called? Because I got it on my phone because I took a picture of it because I ate and drank an enormous amount yesterday. And I was like, dude, my stomach is not feeling very well. Underberg. Yeah, and it comes in this fluted. So it's got 44% alcohol, and it's made by Germany.
Ooh.
And it's it's not an aperitif because aperitifs are
That's
before the
tiny.
meal. It is super
It's
tiny.
like big.
It's horribly small, but it works, and you're supposed to just drink all of it. Just drink the whole shot, and I did. And I was like, cool, but I still have, of the liter that I drank, I still have like that much.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to finish all of it because I don't like wasting food, but also I can do that. You just have to drive and not get punched in the stomach.
Now,
And I had another digestive on the way home just because it's like,
Yeah.
my stomach.
speaking, you posted something on Facebook about winning a holding contest, a Stein
Beer
holding.
Stein holding contest.
Holding
I don't know how
contest.
I did it.
Huh?
Did you know you signed up for it?
No, I signed up for it. You pay.
Oh.
You pay. It's for. All right. So you get with this $25. The entry fee. You get a free pint of a free liter, and that's the liter of beer that you're holding up like this, straight armed. In addition to a shirt. And so what I ended up doing is I ate beforehand, and my little whatever the heck it is, it was an appetizer, and it came out right as we were about to go downstairs for the men's, because the women did it, and the woman at my table, because it's a shared table thing, because it's a German restaurant. There's just 4 people. I don't know them. We start talking, and then the owner starts coming around like, hey, women are up, 6:30. Who's in? And she goes, sure, I'm in. And 2 people at the table were in, and she won. And the funny thing is the second place holder for the women's was the other lady at the table.
Oh, so your whole table just like won.
We were a bunch of winners that evening.
You picked the right table.
Is amazing. But before this, I had so I had those are like 2 or 3 ounces, and that's a beer tasting thing, which is a hobby of mine.
Oh yeah, the flight of beer.
A flight of beer, thank you.
Yep.
So I had
That is fun. I do enjoy getting a nice flight of beer.
So I had that, and I had a drink. No, I had that drink, and then I had the little pizza-ish type of thing with bacon, caramelized onions, and sour cream. And
I was
then
with you until you said sour cream. I was
Yeah,
like,
no.
no, that's weird.
no, I don't like sour cream that much, but apparently it's amazing in muffins, and apparently it's okay if it's just a little bit.
Oh.
So I ate that, and I don't want it to go cold, so I've got, this is my right hand is my dominant, so I've got this tray in my left hand, and I'm eating from it while we're waiting and prepping. And everyone's getting lined up, all the men are getting lined up. And then, so I win. It was 4 minutes and 30 seconds-ish, and it was me and the guy next to me, and I was like, wait, he's out. And then everyone's saying I won or something, and I'm like, oh. And immediately it went down. My arm hurt.
It's like a long time just to hold it like this. Like
It's a pain. Apparently he gives you 2 options, and I went with, you've got like this.
Yeah.
You've got like this grip, or you've got the pinky out and under grip, is what I did. So I got the pinky out and under, but it's a mug. It's a Stein. So
like
just for extra support, yeah. And so you can't like, you've got to have your thumb firmly placed on your hand, not the glassware, which I was guilty of, and I don't know how much I was messing up or I cheated, because it was supposed to be you pick a stance and you stick with it, and I'm like, oh crap. But I mean, I didn't. He was checking to see how straight your arm is, and so I might start off to practice. I might go to Chicago.
I might go to Chicago.
Thomas, you trying this out right now?
I'm timing myself
Oh, okay.
with a water bottle. I mean, it's not the same thing, but
No, it's just heavy glass, and
Yeah.
it's a liter.
but
And
I
I
mean,
don't
still just
know-
having your arms straight like this. It's
Liter
definitely like
two,
not
yeah.
comfortable.
Oh yeah, we'd have to do that in basic training. But just have your arm up the whole time. You're like, oh, this like slowly just falls down, and you're like leaning, trying to keep it up.
So now you might have to go to Chicago out of holding a beer stein.
For dicking around on the weekend, yeah, I had like a daycation where I was like, well, I haven't been to this place. So I went to a sweets and sauces shop, and I bought some stuff. Then I went to a Japanese restaurant. Then I went to a gaming bar called Sente. And then I played with the silly Nerdy Geeks people. And then I went to Hopping Gnome. It's a big day, man.
Yeah, you've done more in one day than I've had probably all month.
So it's like a staycation type of thing, and I ended up buying. I showed Thomas. Bought all these things from the sweets shop.
Oh wow! So a lot of different kind of drinks and.
4 sauces.
Wait a second. Is that one right
That's
there?
that
Oh,
one.
okay, cool. That's
So-
legit.
So I took
So you gotta, like, try
24
a bunch of
ounces of
stuff.
beer to wait for time to elapse, and then go to the German restaurant. And then what I did is I. So the Snapchat recording. Where are you at? Ooh,
I'm at like 2 minutes. This is hurt.
The Snapchat ad said 7 and 7:30. Women's or no. That's
Wait,
what the
there's an ad on
Facebook.
Snapchat?
I don't know how you
Oh.
do it. I don't. He
That's weird. I didn't
maybe
know
it
that a thing,
was.
but I don't use Snapchat. So.
He's me neither. I rarely use it. He said something to the effect of, "Well, we got it right here," and there was a recording of a person with the time, 6:30 for women's, men's, 7. However, on Facebook, which is the time that I went by, it was 7 and 7:30, and so I got
Oh.
there early. But actually, I only got there an hour early, not enough time to eat food comfortably.
Yeah.
And so it was like, okay, I guess. No, I'm still ordering that, and then I'm eating as we're about to. So I put that down, pick it up, pick my stance, and then go. And then ate the remaining 2 or 3 bites.
But you won.
But I won.
So there.
And I could go to Chicago, and then the whole goal is to go to Germany if you win. So I'm thinking about taking anabolic steroids and all that other fun stuff, and doping. Going to be the Lance Armstrong of the.
I was gonna say it's
Love that.
gonna get intense. There are probably people out there that take it real seriously.
Especially in Germany.
Yeah.
Like I made to Germany, you're probably like amateur to them.
Like this
Oh
guy.
yeah,
5 minutes. Psh, how about an hour?
yeah, really, and they're so heavy. And I have a mug, and it's ceramic, and it's heavy.
Yeah.
And it's just like you gotta really be dedicated if you're drinking a liter. I hope you pick a beer you really like, because you're gonna have a liter of it.
Yeah. It turns out, oh, I hate this beer. Oh, it's so gross.
Ooh, all right, so we were done. We were talking at our table. There's just 2 couples and me, and it's shared seating again because they're like, well, I mean, just like buddy up, make friends.
Yeah.
And so we're talking about it, and then I see the dude next to me, his mug, which he was mostly done with, suddenly becomes, it's shaking. His arm is shaking.
It's horribly shaky.
Very appropriate.
Did you get 4 minutes in at least?
Oh, he's so close. 428, 429, 30.
Okay. I got your time.
Can you imagine just spilling all your alcohol just
That was just a water bottle. That got intense there that last little bit. Like it's just I can't imagine doing a a liter of beer.
And
like
that was the scary part, is that it was actually beer. So I mean, if you miss, like if you drop it, it's your beer. It's actual beer, and it's gonna make a mess for somebody. It's not water. However, this little kid, like toddler, who was given like a fake
What, a toddler? Is
plastic
that-
stein and some water, and he was being rooted for it too. And I mean, proportionally to his height, I don't know about muscles and age or everything, but it's the size of his hand. It's not freaking huge like ours is, but it was just funny to see. And I don't know how many minutes he got, maybe 3?
Still pretty impressive.
Yeah, I someone has videos online, and I want to see the videos to see if I did accidentally cheat at all. Because again, you're supposed to have a stance, but you subconsciously go to the thing that is the most comfortable.
Yeah.
And so, like, rules. I want to win fairly.
Yeah.
It just an objective win with no contest. Bam.
I
Would
used
be
to
nice.
do something like that with 45-pound weight. Not hands out, but I would hold it up to my side, and it couldn't rest on my side at all. I just had to hold it like this. And I tried to hold it for a minute. And the reason why I started doing this is because at my workshop, there was just a 45-pound dumbbell just hanging out. And I was like, well, do they expect to start working out here? So I just picked it up, and I was like messing around with it. I was like, you know what? I wonder how long I can hold it up. So I just like hold it on my side and had it go for a minute. Oh, man, that was a rough minute. My arm felt so dead after. I was like, oh, okay. I got to even it out at least, you know? Next.
It's just miserable sounding.
It was. First 30 seconds, you're good. The last 30 seconds, you're like, these seconds can't go any faster.
And it was tough. The guy next to me was like, and metered, and I'm like, okay, I can't just do that. I gotta like focus on breathing, but I can't just like, oh, okay. I gotta like know how everyone's doing, because I'd like to end this. And I'm looking around, and I'm like, all right, okay.
Yeah.
And then suddenly we start dropping at a rapid pace, and I'm like, all right, I'm getting close. And then there's like 3, and then some dude 2 to the right, down, and I'm like, what? It's just us?
You're like, yes! No, keep holding it. Do you normally like just go into random contests?
No.
No, it was just like a spur of the moment thing.
It was so okay, I feel all right, I went to Midwest Beer Fest this year, and I thought there was a Stein contest, and this one was actually free. It was a free contest. But the dude came over, the judge, and he said to me, you can do better than that. And it's a stranger. It's a stranger.
It's like, wait, what does that mean?
Or
You
not,
could do better than that.
It was such a
He's
weird,
calling you out.
So it was like encouragement, but dude, who the... So I think he's calling me out because I did something wrong. There are a lot of people cheering, a lot of men and women cheering, and then suddenly you've got this guy who is like 4 or 5 feet away saying something to me, and he's the judge. So I'm like, oh shit. So he's disqualifying me? I don't know what I did, but okay, and I put it down, and then I spoke to him afterwards, like, what did you say to me? Because I didn't hear.
Yeah.
And he said, you can do better than that. And I'm like, I've never heard that sentence in my life. Unless it's in like a coaching.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen you do better. You can do better. I know you can. But it was such a, like, I don't know, man. I don't know what you're saying. So I'm just assuming I'm getting DQ'd. I'm like, just for next time, for everybody's sake, don't talk unless you're actually disqualifying them. I told him that. I was like, I could have been up there.
So that's what made you decide to try it again?
Yes, and I didn't know there was a fee, and then I was like, fine, I'm already here. But what about that food? Got the food, I'm like, oh, now we're going? Crap.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going downstairs in a meeting, making a mess, and then, so I've got this board, because it didn't come out on a plate for whatever reason. Reddit, we want plates, and it was all just like, all right, this is a heavy, like, cutting board, like a slender one, like a rectangular.
Oh, for a second there, I thought you were talking about the thickness there.
The thickness was, it was fairly thick too. It's like,
Okay.
It's like a wooden cutting board, and I'm like, why? All right, whatever. It happens to be the exact shape, and nothing's going off. Like nothing's, there's not liquids. If it were something that required, like had a lot of liquid on it, like sauces or stuff. It's not pouring or anything.
Yeah.
So like, okay, I guess that's acceptable.
So, okay, question. What is your first hobby you ever got into?
Probably just games.
Just games?
And then bicycling? Cigars. Because when I turned 18, yeah.
What, collecting them or just smoking them?
Smoking them.
Okay.
But then, but like everything costs money, and I'm 18, and it's like, some of these taste terrible.
Yeah.
Some of them are really good, but it's relaxing, and you get to watch the smoke, assuming there's not Kansas wind. And, it's cathartic, it's relaxing. That ended. Then I turned 21, and my parents got me a beer brewing kit. I brewed 3 times.
That's like a legit 21 birthday kind of gift.
Very
Here
loving
you go,
parents.
brew your own.
I have
Don't ask me for any alcohol.
very loving parents. Also, that requires a house pretty much because you don't want to do it in an apartment. Because there's just so much. The ideal scenario would be for an amateur brewery. It would be a garage. It would be a garage because you've got options. You've got cabling everywhere. You've got additional. So
Oh, so you're just talking about like space. I wasn't sure if
it's so-
Oh, so
it was
they
like
got you like a
theme or something.
real brew
Also,
kit, not one of
a
those
fire-
cheap fake brew kits.
what are you talking about? That's what I did. I had the carboys. I had 2 very large glass carboys. So like the Culligan. Basically, it's a Culligan.
Yeah, no,
jug,
because like
but it's
you can get these like cheap plasticky-ish type ones.
Oh yes, you can.
That's what I was thinking. Then
No.
you're still going into the whole. Okay, so this guy's talking about an actual brew kit, not like
It's-
one of the cheap. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's extensive. I mean, there's bottling. You get 2 buckets. One has a hole in the bucket, and you're supposed to put a spout, and then you, at the end of your hopefully it's successful, and there's no contaminants. You can pour it into a bottle, and then you cap it.
Yeah.
But it requires a primary fermenter and then a secondary fermenter, and
Come on.
it's a lot of stuff. And then if the ideal scenario that I didn't have would be like a burner, like an actual burner with gas, and you're in a garage and you've just got this 5-gallon tin and you're heating it up.
How long does it take to make?
Oh hell, I would say a day.
A day?
Like I would,
Okay.
after you get it depends on how advanced you get. You can cut it down in time with more resources, because it's going to take half a day easy. So yeah, a half a day, but it's going to not a full day unless you're like really advanced or it's huge. But just for a 5-gallon batch, it's going to require. Oh hell! I could list all of these things at one point in time. There's a bucket, which is your primary fermenter. There's a litmus test thingy to check on the pH level. There's a yeast packet that comes with it. You have to cook it in a 5-gallon. I had to go out and buy a 5-gallon like big ass pot. Like, how many people are we doing? Are we having like a jambalaya party?
I can see
or-
that be an issue in a small space now.
And so it's pretty problematic.
Yeah.
But after that, so all right, what do we do now? It's got to come to room temperature, and you have 2 methods, and it is an ice bath, which is the only way that I've done it, and it's in a tub. That shit takes forever. Or you could buy coiled copper tubing.
Oh.
So yeah, and that's it's copper, so it's expensive. And then you've got a. All right, so let's see here. It's got 2 ends. One of them you've got water flowing through the bottom, and the other one, so it goes around. So it's a refrigerator.
Yeah.
It's going through all the beer and it's cooling it down with direct contact,
Mhm.
and it's going up and then it pours out. That will cut like an hour and a half off.
I'm guessing you never got that.
Nope, no, because I don't have a house.
So you went from gaming to cigars to brewing your own alcohol.
And I have sold that off because I have all these other hobbies now that take up a lot of space, and I'm doing the exact thing that I was afraid of, and it's just there's a pile of stuff. There's just a pile of stuff. All right. So I've got an old bed sheet where a normal person would put like not a coffee table, but like a kitchen table. And so, but I'm like, Mom, I don't want that for Christmas. She was totally on board with me getting practical things, and I'm like, but all right, I've got a bike and it takes up space, and so how about this? I'm going to use an old bed sheet that's no longer in use. I'm gonna put that down so that way if it's muddy or dirty outside or there's a bunch of salt because of ice,
Yeah.
you can drag it up the stairs and you can plop it on the stand, and all of that gets dirty. And then you do climbing, and then there's climbing chalk that's there, and all these other fun things. Like, you've got dirt there. And so what you do is you just put all those things, you go to the porch, set them outside, and then you take the bed sheet out, wrap it up, and then just go to the porch and shake it out, and then.
Oh, okay. I get you now. So you have like a little spot where it's like, the dirt will just hit that. It's all good.
Exactly.
So what are your current hobbies? Like, what is your list? Like, what are your big ones right now?
I've been
Thomas
hunting
smiling
for
'cause he probably knows
shinies.
like 100 of them.
Yeah, I know like about 150 of his hobbies. I just want to know what the other 150 are.
Currently, I'm hunting for shinies on Pokemon Go. Or I mean, I've
Sword.
kind of quit that out. Pokemon Sword,
Shield.
yeah,
Sword.
because it's so
Sword.
resource heavy, and you've got to know where all these different locations are on Pokemon Go. So I've just stuck to Pokemon Sword. I'm up to Scene 44, Caught 39, maybe. And that's all strictly
That's
from
a lot.
Sword. It's not pushing. No, I got so lucky.
Just on shinies.
I got
Yeah,
so
see,
lucky.
I've never really cared about the shinies.
Some of them look pretty sick. Others,
Yeah.
I don't even know if I had noticed now. Like with the newer ones, I'd be like, oh yeah, just kill that one. Oh wait, that was a shiny. Oh dang it.
oh, because there's this shiny thing that happens. There's a animation, and it's bright, and it comes with a little jingle.
Oh okay. That's a lot better than like just change colors.
Pokemon Sword.
One of them
is
did that.
shiny.
One of them just had like different color variations.
I think that's like Gen 1 or 2.
Was
because
it?
I think it was originally
When you're playing like the
glitch.
black and white game and trying to get the shiny and the black and white Pokemon, like, oh.
I don't know what the difference is.
Now, I want to say, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but like I want to say Gen 1 or 2
Color difference, I think.
was a glitch, and they're like, people like this. And
Probably.
then they brought it into fruition. But
I've heard that about it being a glitch, but that's kind of interesting.
Let's see,
I
so
used to watch all these Pokemon facts too all the time. The first two gens were always interesting. So many different like test stuff that they ended up like having to like figure out later. Because like they'd be like find bugs or something, like what the hell? Why are these bugs in here? And then like the next gen games, there's newer bugs, and I don't know. I like listening to those fan theories on why they were implemented in the games and stuff.
Oh yeah, it's
All the cool.
that's YouTube channels are definitely a current hobby, and not so much gaming related, but occasionally I'll go to the gaming related stuff for games that I've personally played for the most part.
To me, YouTube's like an addiction. I
That's-
swear. I sit there just be watching stuff all the time, and I'm like, I don't even know what. Like half the time, I'm not even watching anymore. I'm just listening, but it's playing.
See, like, I'll start.
Time sink, and you got to pick it well. That's why
Yeah.
I never did WoW, because I knew.
WoW. Yeah, WoW took a lot of my life away.
It did not take mine, but my buddy did try to get me into it. I just
WoW. Yeah, WoW is a.
because he was like, you should get into it. I'm like, I don't know if I want to pay monthly for that.
Yeah.
Cheapest thing possible. Nintendo, $20 a year. Nintendo Online.
Yeah.
It's
I missed the free though.
It's not free. No,
Yeah.
those days are over.
That's more expensive. Microsoft and Xbox,
That's all right. So
they are ridiculous.
They're not
well,
that
that's
expensive.
7 up there.
I mean, $15 a month.
But you can do a yearly subscription.
Yeah, it cuts it out, but it's still just like, who wants to
I
drop
don't know,
that
there's
much
a
at
whole
once?
lot more on those ones than the Switch one.
Oh yeah, well, they give you more. You get those games monthly and all that, but
That's true.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't play them. I just don't play multiplayer enough to really care for any of that.
That's another thing. Yeah, the PC is for free, so Steam games are there if I want. But I never really got into multiplayer a whole lot. I tried Destiny 2, and it was... I don't know what's going on, and everybody else...
That was me too. I tried Destiny 2, and it was fun, but I was lost. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing.
The biggest issue was information overload. So I've got all this shit on the screen that I don't understand, and I have to learn all these new terms. In addition to people talking directly to me or learning what... So I'm actively... And it's exhausting. Like, I get exhausted from doing that. Like, the visual cues and the audio, and I'm just like, dude, I just want to play a game. Just want to play a game. I don't care about any of this. I don't want to be a part of a clan.
No, but you have to.
Maybe
I mean,
I'll
that's the
pick it
whole
up.
Every
part
game
of
has
everything.
clans.
They do. It does pretty much.
Well,
Except for like
Single
Nintendo
player
games.
game, gotta be in a clan. What?
Yeah.
Why? Why?
I guess technically I'm in, but I haven't played that game for like a few months.
What, Destiny 2?
Yeah.
Huh.
I think the last real MMO I was into pretty solid was Final Fantasy 14.
Oh, really?
I loved it. But of course, it's a monthly fee and blah de blah and blah de blah. Then they do a new update. You got to pay in for that and blah de blah. And then like my issue was, I get to the point where I can't really do it solo anymore, and I have no friends who play. I've joined guilds and stuff, but like normally, like every guild I join, they're all at end content and don't want to do any of the dumb stuff you're on. They just want to do the raids and the end content. They don't want to finish the game. Like, they already did it. They don't care. They just want to do, like, the ultimate raid all the time. And then it's like, well, hey, can you guys do it tonight? No, we're doing this tonight. It's like, oh, okay, cool. Sorry. So that's sort of how my MMO experience always is. I love it. I get super good at it. I get to a point where I can't do it anymore. None of my friends play them, and all the guilds suck.
The closest thing that I had was free to play Lord of the Rings Online, which I liked. It's really good.
Isn't it only free to an extent?
So you hit this ambivalent, like, I think it's, what is it, like 40 to 43 stretch, when it's just super tough because if you're just doing free to play, there's not a whole lot of content to push you to 50.
Oh.
And so like it was just like, but no one else is doing this, and everyone else is. And then there was a server migration.
Always.
So it was like, what the heck?
Huh.
And there was a guy that was also doing free to play, and I was like, dude, I'm thinking of going to this server, and he's like, no, and I'm like, why? No, go to this server. I'm like, but you're just one dude. Like I can't. I'm not that emotionally attached.
Just that one guy. Follow that dude.
It's just cool. Thanks for the offer, but like, I'll live.
Yeah.
Like I'll find, and I migrated servers like a long time afterwards, because it was kind of like put your character in storage on hold, or something, or just made it inactive. So I loaded up a bunch of patches, started it up. Cool. What am I doing? And it's just like, first you gotta pick a new server. I'm like, oh, of course. Right. Yeah. And I picked one, and I'm like, now I gotta make new relationships and see people who are around my level, or I can pay $60 for a year. And then in addition, if you pay $60 for a year, the $60 for a year, it's okay. But if you do that just one time, you retain some of those benefits.
Oh, really?
Yes. So unlike most content that's stripped completely of your character, you still retain them.
Oh, okay.
So there's like travel bonuses and maybe a mount speed bonus, something. It's been a while though. I've
only played a little bit of that one, and it was kind of fun. But I remember like hitting kind of a wall, and I was like, oh, well, there it is. Okay. And I just kind of moved on from there. There's part of me that always wants to play it, but I'm like, but then I gotta put in work. Yeah.
And they are so much work. MMOs,
especially these days, because
time consuming.
There are a lot of people out there that can have a lot of time devoted to playing games, and I feel like they amp up the hardness just to make up for that.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't have the time to do what they could do. It's like, geez,
expensive. That's why I like the raids on Pokemon Sword. Is you have up to 4 people. You don't communicate with anybody.
I hate the raids on Pokemon Sword. It's like every time I've been online and trying to do raids, no one joins my freaking raids.
Okay, so
sorry,
I've had a few of those issues occasionally,
and then so I get stuck with like having to use like the regular like NPCs, and I always get the freaking wishy-washy.
Wait, I don't like wishy-washy at all.
It's so freaking annoying because it does that stupid. It starts
schooling.
Yeah, there's a schooling thing. All the fish come, and it's every time, and it's so stupid. It's such a time waste. It's unnecessary, and he dies right away. And so then when he comes back, schooling, like, oh my god, fucking quit! Oh, it's such a boring, annoying, time wasting animation. Take it out.
That was I played the game in full, then looked at reviews, then watched your guys' review of Pokemon, and your input on it. specifically on Sword, and then it was like I agree with everything everybody is saying because everyone's basically on the same. Like they cut corners, they were lazy near the end. They obviously put a bunch of content in it and new animations for like the raids and Gigamax and Dynamax, but it's still it just seemed lacking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
I will say the wild area has been kind of interesting because I've finally gotten to the point where I have to travel through the wild area to get to the newer locations.
Oh, you're new at it.
I just haven't had enough interest to keep playing, so every once in a while I was like, I'll jump on and play a little bit, but I've been so bored with it, it's just been really hard for me to keep going.
It is so easy to beat.
So like I've already beat like 2 or 3 gym leaders now.
Oh yeah.
So I went back to the wild area and started like traveling through, going to like all the other locations, and I was like, I kind of like that. But yeah, I don't know. Just something about it. I just feel really bored about it.
The little sandbox area, the wild area, is so small in comparison to the rest, and I just thought that it would have more. And maybe they'll make up for it in the DLC and be like, look at this wild area.
Yeah.
For
Yeah,
30
they do have the 2 new areas. So we'll see what the DLC brings. I'm not too pumped.
I mean, yeah.
I'll get
I'm
it.
skeptical.
I'm not pumped though.
I've been playing Temtem lately.
Is it good? Is it good?
I haven't gotten very far in it, but like, it's not bad.
Is it
it's
Pokemon
different.
replacer? That's the big question. Will it replace Pokemon?
I don't think so.
I don't think.
I think what Pokemon has going for it is the classic characters. I don't know any of the newer ones' names.
No, it's irrelevant.
Yeah.
They don't. Some of
That's
them are
kind of
like
the same issue with Temtem.
cardboard.
Because like when I like choose one of the little Temtem characters, like I'm not really caring too much about the characters' names yet.
Gotcha.
So I think if they can get that like to where I'm like, ooh, this one, I think that will kind of help them out. But
to
as of now, there's no
personify-
Pikachu or Bulbasaur,
nothing
Yeah.
that stands out at
Yeah.
all. Nothing's cute because it's pixelated.
Well, they're cute. I just
Aha.
haven't really cared about the names yet.
Getting in with the new Pokemon stuff. I have around Christmas time started collecting cards again.
Oh.
And yeah, they just released the Sword and Shield
Oh, that's right. You were
cards.
telling me about that.
No shit. I had no idea. I mean, it makes sense.
You
There's
write that
always
down
Yeah.
on the list
money
of
with
Pokemon
additional
cards.
stuff.
I also have Magic the Gathering.
That's okay.
MTG.
Do you have the Black Lotus? What is it called?
No. Probably not.
Did you spend about 10 grand to get this?
No, I would
single
not.
Card? Because that's a thing.
That's the thing, I love the whole, you get, a pack of Pokemon cards or Magic cards, and you open it up, you get to see what you get type deal. It's a mystery. I love that sort of, that feeling. Sort of like the loot boxes type things, but it's like Pokemon cards are actually getting stuff,
Yeah.
You know what you're going into here. It's like, okay, I'm getting 10 random Pokemon out of this sort of thing. And you usually get some good ones in there.
Thomas is an adult, so he can buy his own cards. Doesn't have to ask mom.
Yeah.
That's the
Not
one
to ask
advantage
wife.
of being an adult.
It's like, I want cards. I'm going to go buy some cards.
But,
There's-
yes, that's one of my recent things. Have you ever been into collecting the cards of anything?
There was a moment in time where there was a garage sale, and I don't know how old I was, but this guy had a box probably about as big as that is, or larger, and it was like baseball cards.
oh.
And you went and bought some baseball cards.
I have no idea what I did with them. Maybe sold it again because it just sat there because it's irrelevant to my life and I don't know what I'm doing
Yeah.
at all. And there's a bunch of people with still shots, and it's like, okay, I don't give a fuck about you or you or you or you.
I had a bunch of those.
I recognize this team name. Okay.
See, I like collecting. I like collection. So when it comes to the Pokemon cards, I like collecting different Pokemon cards. I like collecting the Magic the Gathering. I like playing the games too, the actual card games.
Okay, yes.
I've always just liked collecting things.
It's my kitty litter box. Or no, it's the food dispenser.
Okay. So you're kitty.
Yeah, it's me calling for the cats. I recorded that, and they hear it, and they're like, "Oh, time for food."
But,
So I've only seen one of two cats then.
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
two.
So I started by collection stuff with actually collecting Sobe bottles. Back in the day, back in the
Oh, I know what that is.
late
yeah,
90s.
I remember that.
Well, probably late 90s, early thousands. The Sobeys drinks, they had all the different bottles with like the different lizard lookings.
Yeah.
So I was like collecting them because they were in the glass bottle still too.
Oh yeah.
So they were cooler. And then, I got yelled at for having like trying to collect all the different like Sobe bottles. I started collecting more after Sobe bottles. I was collecting other just different cool looking bottles. Like, that's a cool bottle. And I don't know. For whatever reason, I like collecting bottles.
It's just all right. I tried that with beer. I tried that with beer
I have-
bottles, and
I
it's so heavy.
I have like a little collection going now of different beers I've tried and some of like the weird sodas and a lot of it. I have sort of like a Jack Daniels collection going too. I'm a huge Jack Daniels fan, so like I see like some cool stuff. I'm like, oh, that's got Jack Daniels on it. I'm gonna
Like,
buy
hell
that.
yeah.
That's why I like Jack Daniels. So now I have like a weird sort of bottle / Jack Daniels collection going.
How heavy is it though?
I don't know.
That's the biggest concern out of all the things. It's just like, well,
It takes up a lot of space.
if
yes.
I move theoretically, and then it's just like, oh my god.
I have like a box of glass bottles I'd have to move.
That's what I did.
I also collect shot glasses
and
too.
it hurt.
Shot glasses
Just
are
like, this
fun to
is so
collect.
fun.
I remember as a kid, there's these puzzles that you can get from like cereal boxes or stuff. I remember like it was one of the themes that I liked was Star Wars. The new Star Wars episodes are coming out, and you get these like boxes, and you get like different little puzzle pieces. You're trying to collect them all and make like a square or something.
Yeah.
Being so into that, I was like,
I
I
remember
gotta
those.
get them all. And it's funny because you guys were talking about collecting stuff. I was like, man, I remember being into that. Now that I'm an adult, I don't know what I was thinking that made me think that was going to be valuable sometime later.
It's rare.
Yeah, it's rare. You gotta have them all.
If you didn't open it, yeah.
The Beanie Baby collection.
I
that
have
whole thing.
some Beanie Babies back at my mom's
But
house.
those actually have some of them actually do have a good price on
Yeah.
them though.
I was
That's
actually
the
I know I
thing.
have a couple of those too. I was like, I should sell those. I told my mom about it. I was like, hey mom, you know the Beanie Babies I got at home? You should definitely look on eBay and tell me what you can get for those.
Yeah.
Because they're worth a lot for some reason.
Yeah, some
don't
are. It's
know
ridiculous.
why.
Why?
I don't know why either.
I've watched like one or two documentaries on art, or there was a 60 Minutes deal about art, and it's how arbitrary it is. Like the price of art
Unnecessary.
doesn't make a fucking bit of sense.
No, yeah.
And so
Well, it was like that freaking dude had a banana taped to a piece of paper, and it sold for like what?
$2,000. No, it was like 200.
It was up there, like a ridiculous amount for.
better not rot.
No, that
Yeah,
was
someone
the
took it and ate
intent.
it.
That was the intent. So the whole goal was so that he had one banana in a state of decay, and then he adds another banana, and another banana, and another banana was the goal. It was supposed to be, I don't know, it was supposed to be like the newest banana all the way to
The first banana.
the one that's collecting fruit flies. I don't know. It was supposed to be recurring. It was like an active
Someone bought it.
thing, and then I have no
Well,
idea why
if-
that's a sane thing to do.
If
or
I
how it
had
could
put
be.
it up there, like I understand why he sold it. If I went up there and did something like that, like at an art show and had a banana taped to a paper, and someone's like, "I'll give you $200 for it," I'm like, I could buy a lot of bananas with $200. Take it, it's yours.
Your
the
banana.
amount of potassium I will be having, I won't have a cramp for the rest of my life.
Yeah. Yeah, art is ridiculously expensive.
Well, this is our art. Ain't it pretty? Do you think anybody will buy it for like $2,000?
Maybe if
Probably not.
no, I can't. Yeah,
It's funny because I had a bunch of like old pieces, or not old pieces, but like extra floorboards in one of the storage places. And I was like, what the hell am I supposed to do with all this? Why do I have all this? That's what all that is. Just the floorboards just tacked
for
to the wall.
something.
Yeah.
just to be there.
It's like, there's my art there. It's something to look at. It's not boring.
There's some numbers.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's the color blue.
It means something. Oh man, this art here speaks to me.
If you were on enough acid, you could determine what it is that you see in it.
Oh.
So I'm guessing you guys aren't art collectors.
All right, so I got three. I have three things that are actual art. One is from Jamaica when we were on a cruise, It was for $20. 25. 25 seems to be like the price for something about as big as that frame, or less, smaller. So
2,500.
$25.
Oh, okay, just making sure. I was like, are we?
So
Yeah, that's a.
I got
2,500, ooh.
that, and I got one from Arkansas when we visited my friend when he lived in Arkansas. Then I spoke to a dude at there's like a Bradley Fair Arts
Yeah.
thingy. So I was at that. Spoke to the guy. He only did cash. I spoke to him for
That's always
about
annoying.
20, 25 minutes, and he just said, "Take a print." That would be about $20. I'm like, "Well, thanks." Haven't seen him ever since.
Oh.
But his name is Virgil. He was,
Shout out to Virgil.
yeah. He's a good dude.
Huh.
Just like, hey, I'll take the print. So I've got it right there above my computer screen, so it's visible.
I need to get some more art stuff up.
No. We so we were like at Goodwill, and we were just sort of browsing, and then I saw these cool things, like, and they're like heavy plaster, and it's like there's two of them, and they were knights, and they were stuck out. Like, it wasn't just like a painting or anything. It was actually a heavy plaster, sort of like a knight sculpture within the plaster.
Mm.
I was like, those are cool. They were like $2 each, so I bought them. They sell on eBay for like 150 each.
Oh! Sell it, man! Sell it!
It is awesome.
I like keeping them. They look cool. They look cool. Like, they're super
okay.
cool looking. Like, I like them because they look cool. But I was just like, well, this is so weird and unique. I wonder if I could find it on eBay. So I just looked, and I saw one selling for like 100-some bucks. I was like, whoo,
What the heck?
okay, that is so cool and random. My wife does a lot of RE type stuff. We have a lot of different like things around the house, like
Yeah.
pictures and canvases and whatnot. Like things she's drawn and painted, and other things that we've like bought. I have really I'm not artistic at all. I couldn't draw a stick figure good to save my life, so I really just don't care. I have no artistic ability, and being colorblind, it just doesn't matter to me at all. Like,
But you see black and white, man. Doesn't have to be in color.
well, see, and then I'm gonna get yelled at by like, what's that dude named Bob Ross, the painter dude?
Bob
He
Ross.
can't yell at you.
He's
'Cause,
he's
he did a
physically
video-
capable of doing that now.
He did a video of like, oh, you say you can't paint because you're colorblind. Well, I'm gonna paint with just grays, black and white. And he made an amazing picture with grays, black and white. And I was like, well, okay, dude, good for you.
I used to do a lot of drawing when I was a kid. That map, the one I drew like forever ago.
That's a big map.
Yeah,
That's freaking
actually half of
huge.
it's still folded up. It wouldn't fit in the frame.
That's a considerable size.
I was really bored in one of the classes and just drew a map.
It's the next D&D campaign.
That's a,
Yeah, exactly.
We'll do a D&D campaign off that map.
that's a hobby. That's a current hobby.
D&D.
I've got, let's see here. I've got one character in the works. I think I'm just going to be a merchant of some sort. But he shot down I had the money, so I bought a medal. That's like a kind of like a bronze mold, or maybe it's 3D printed. I am unsure. All I know is it's there and it works. Is it metal? Obviously it's metal. It's either steel or bronze. I forgot which.
It's something.
But it's awesome because like you can't really break it unless you tried.
Okay.
And so it's there, but the guy shot down that because he's a Warforged. Apparently Warforged is too technical because he's going for like, I don't know, an undeveloped theme. So I was like, fine, I'm going to pick a name that is difficult to pronounce.
Just to get back at you.
That is exact. So Jananaman.
Jananaman.
Jananaman is
Sounds like
is the
a
name.
Digimon there. Jananaman.
And so I haven't come up with a last name yet,
Oh, jeez.
but he was okay with a Luxodon.
When are we
which
doing
was-
that?
We need to.
We talked about doing a D&D
Like doing like a
podcast.
live
Not podcast,
D&D.
but like a
Doing a live-
episode kind of thing.
Live D&D.
All it requires is like how he was talking about a 24-hour thing, and I'm like, no, Thomas,
Do that.
I won't be able to. This is insane.
Well, I mean, you imagine like a D&D campaign, like alone can go for hours on hours.
And it could and it would, but it's like, okay.
That's why you start drinking, and then you have a good time.
Then you don't remember what you're doing.
Exactly. It makes the campaign funner, you know?
Wait. So am I that guy? Or that
You just
guy?
pick up the
like-
wrong guy, start moving them around.
So I've been trying to figure out like a good way to do it because I like the
Archer.
visuals. I like to have the visuals, you know, and I was always thinking like, oh, well, I can make my own like maps and stuff. But then I found a program on Steam, Tabletop Simulator, and I got this cool,
that or not.
like, basically like a cool table that you get to. Then you can add like minifigures and stuff to it, and basically you can set it up. You can put your map on there, and you can put the like sort of fog of war over it, so where it only reveals when players are actually on the spot, and
That's
it opens
awesome.
up like a certain space. I mean, I have a lot of it set up for a few. I have a couple starter campaigns I bought. I just got to finish actually doing all that.
Actually doing it. That's the.
And that'd be
So-
great for like streaming, because then the people can see like the table,
Yeah.
and they
You
can see what's
have to
going on.
plan. You have to plan. That's you got to.
Yeah.
I've seen one of our DMs. I'm no longer in that campaign, but he didn't plan at all. And he's like, I'm busy. I'm like, we're aware of that, but like, so we're going into a dungeon. It's some dude's house. He's a god. Everybody's gods. Everyone. It's
Hell
fucking
yeah.
weird. So that's the theme. That's the theme. Is everybody's the word? I don't know. It was okay, but his descriptors were lacking, and everything's the biggest or the largest or the most fierce or the. It was just.
This
like,
is the
dude,
biggest
yeah.
mouse you've ever
The,
seen.
the most powerful.
And in the next room,
kitten.
it's the biggest mouse you've ever seen. And
It's-
there's the biggest mouse you've ever seen.
It's Mickey Mouse. What?
Imagine the mouse you saw in the last room, but bigger.
And it was like, okay, dude, but if you start at the top, at the very fucking top,
Yeah.
well then how do you get there? The floor is already the ceiling. What are we doing? And so, but
You enter a room.
We
It's
went-
dark.
we went left, and he was thinking we were gonna go right, and he goes, "Oh, I didn't prepare that." And I was like, "What?"
That's an option, though.
Yeah,
Why
like-
did we have this option? Yeah.
Oh, it's blocked off. What?
It's like, come on, and he'd admit to that type of shit all the time. It's like, why? What are we doing? What are we doing? The other one was more prepared. It just was. It was more prepared, and it was. He even had some plot points in. I got thrown in jail because we rolled some dice, and I rolled the one that says my character was an alcoholic anyways because I rolled for that attribute.
Oh.
So it's very
Drunken
fitting.
monk style.
And it was.
Oh.
He ended up going to jail for 2 days, and so it's like, all right, well, I got to read this book anyways, which could like, it was ridiculous because there were legendary items, and I had like a +4 to Dex.
Yeah.
Permanent increase if I read 48 hours in a week or something. So every waking moment that I apparently wasn't drinking or we weren't doing a quest, I'm like, cool, I'm in my room, I'm reading. And so I got thrown in jail. I'm like, well, I mean, I got 8 hours of the day that he's willing to give me. So bam, 16 hours right there. And then suddenly the king is like, hey, shit's going down. And he was obviously more tactful because he's the king, but he,
Of course.
like, hey, and then he's got to describe like, well, where's so and so? Atelier was that character's name. So Atelier, like, where is he? And I'm in prison. He's like, what are you doing, buddy? Like, why are you in prison? Are we sure that I want this guy helping me? I kind of wish I didn't, give you, because he gave us some nice stuff for helping one of his people. And
Yeah.
we had eaten a meal with him and spoken, and it was like, all right, you got to represent me well, and you are fucking this up, buddy.
See, I like.
Sounds like a crazy campaign. Like, oh, come on.
I started. We started a campaign. I was DMing,
Ooh.
Yeah.
And I
you
started
can.
going off of like a book, but then I decided, you know what? No, I want to go on my do my own thing. So I started with a book, and I started interpreting my own stuff. Then we just sort of fell off playing. I did another one where I made it completely from scratch, but that sort of campaign fell through too.
It takes planning to do that. That's the
Yeah.
thing that hurts.
Oh.
It's like you don't have time and you're done.
Yeah. So I have been working. I have like 3 sort of ideas I'm sort of working at. I have one where I have like sort of the backstory written up, and I just gotta sort of finish creating the world, and then actually make an actual story. Like I have the world set,
Nice.
the history, the basic outline of the history, everything, the world sort of drawn up. I have that all set. I just gotta actually make the story and finish up all the little minor details.
That'd be a great way to write a story. D&D. But like, so you like record everybody playing D&D, and based on how they choose, that's how your story's gonna be.
Yeah,
Like if you're like make a movie or like a TV series,
it would be cool.
like all right, here's what's gonna happen, right? And as they go through, like wow, I didn't expect that plot twist.
And I had
So
that
I guess
one,
that's how the TV show is gonna go now.
When this happens,
that one we originally were talking about doing, where it's sort of like on like, I don't know if you've played
We're talking about the
time one, yeah.
Yeah.
Where like you like Dragon Ball Z, they had those games where like you're a time warrior and you go back to fix all the glitches in time.
nope.
No, well, it's sort of like that concept. Like you're part of a team, and you go on these different adventures. Like there's something wrong with time, like the whole like sort of timeline's screwed up. So you have to go. You get sent on all these random missions. So I can make like a bunch of different random mini like one-shot campaigns that all sort of can tie together in one big campaign type deal. And you can have like different areas. You can like be like futuristic, anything you want type deal. So basically, it's like a free whatever I want to do
It's
type
a
deal.
platform to
Yeah.
do.
So
any
then
number
it's
of
like,
things.
okay, then they basically tell you, it's like, okay, this is what happens and it shouldn't happen. That's all we know. Or like you roll your die to maybe figure out any more information type deal. So you roll die to see if how little or much information you know.
I like that
So
concept.
then you go into this
I
place,
could do that totally. Do that.
and it's flexible to where you don't have to have the same people. So like, you could make it. Someone else could come in. As long as we have like a certain amount of people, we're fine. So we can have anybody come in at any time. Anyone could DM it. Like if they, I had an idea. Can I DM it? Yeah, sure. Write up your idea. You can be the DM for another campaign.
Yeah, you were
So,
talking about that.
Basically, like it's completely flexible. The fact that like you can have anyone play, anyone can DM, but it's still sort of the same
Campaign.
campaign. It's just like if your character's available for a mission, they can go in.
Sweet.
Type deal. So like it's sort of up in the air. Like it's something I had like idea of. I hadn't really drawn too much out of it since, like I said, it's such a flexible idea. And then you just thought like that'd be such a great story like idea. It's like, yeah, I just don't know how to write. If I knew how to write, I could plenty of stories. And I was thinking of another campaign that I'd really want to do, but that would take up way too hard to do. So I've been watching One Piece a lot, the anime.
Aha.
A One Piece themed like D&D campaign, because that's a vast world. The possibilities, like you could be like Navy, you could be like a pirate, you could have like the devil fruit powers, all the different stuff that can be interpreted into it. Oh man,
Could be fun.
and the fact that like your devil power can be just completely random based on a roll of a die. You can either get like the most awesomest one or like the crappiest, stupidest one ever. So I don't know. I got a few ideas I've been playing with. I just don't know. I'm not that great at DMing.
I
I'm
have a
still learning the
question.
rules.
Take some skill.
What are you guys'
Never
most
done it.
expensive hobbies?
All of them.
Because I know, okay, a lot of guys that I work with, they're big into like cars
That's immediately
and
expensive.
Yeah, no.
guns. And I'm like, those are some expensive hobbies.
I did have a gun. I did own a gun, but it's not that expensive because I owned one and then I never used it, and it sat in a friend's gun safe.
Oh, okay.
And
so
then-
it's not really a hobbyist one you had. And,
He bought it from me,
oh,
and so it's still sitting in his gun safe, but it might exchange hands again because he doesn't want it, but it's for me. So I've got first dibs, and I'm like, someday.
sometime I'm gonna take that back.
I would say fly fishing
Fly fishing.
and
Really?
bicycling.
Yeah,
I
sure.
sure. Bicycling, because bicycle, like,
I gotta
the
get
higher end stuff.
I get more
Why?
tire. I need more too. I think I need a new tire.
Okay. Tires are gonna run you a pretty penny.
Yeah.
It's not the worst thing that could happen, but I mean, what do you mean? Are you talking about the tire, the tube, or the wheel?
Oh, tire.
Okay, then you're solid. Never mind.
Yeah, no, not the wheels are still good. Just my biggest issue I had with that bike was actually realizing, okay, it needs 50 psi of air.
Oh, that's gonna matter.
Yeah, so I'm like, this doesn't seem right. It's like, what is wrong? And it's like, oh, it takes 50 psi of air. It takes more air in this bike tire than my car tire.
Yeah.
That was a very strange like concept to me. Like that my bike takes 50 psi, or I put like 35 in my car tire.
It's pounds. Shit, what does that even mean? PSI, pounds per square inch.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
So pounds per square inch. So it's not volume-wise, it's not more than your car tire, but the pressure is.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
it's all about the pressure, but still, it's like a weird, like seeing the number, like it's just so weird. This, it was just a weird like concept thinking about that, like wow, 50 in here, while my, yeah,
Why so much?
It's like such a weird concept when we're thinking about it because you think, yeah, like it's a small tire.
It is. Yeah.
It's like to hold the pressure per square inch. Yeah,
On
it
a-
throws
on
it
a-
off to where you're thinking like, wow, 50 is way more than 35, but really, it's not. When it comes down to, it's not as much volume wise.
It depends on
Depending.
how thick your tires are, typically, or the purpose. The purpose of your is it one of those big ass, like there are very large wheels.
Oh, that one dude had on that bike ride we did. That dude had like
Yes.
freaking.
Massive
Yeah.
off-road, like.
They're chunky tires, about that big.
Jeez. Is that a bicycle or a motorcycle?
Yeah.
Bicycle.
Now, did you ever look into the tubeless?
Yeah, and I realized it's expensive, and I've already expended money. Then I don't need to. Let's see. There was some. The biggest thing that I did, as far as improvement goes, is buy a new derailleur set, because I had done 1,000 miles a year the first year, 1,000 miles a year the second year, and then 500 miles because I got a little odometer on that third. And if I had done 1,000 miles a year, again and again and again, then I could probably justify a $3,000 bike. But I can't, and I'll just stick with one bike.
Yeah.
But I did notice that I had outgrown, quote unquote, my bike.
Huh.
How did I know that? Well, the chain was slapping, and the responsiveness wasn't what I wanted it to be. So I helped a friend out in the sense that he had stock from last year that was basically obsolete. So it's like, I'll give you almost at cost if you take this out of the showroom, the viewing room. If you buy this, you've got it. And then suddenly everything's responsive, and it just it
was like,
it
what?
worked. It was great. But it put me back a bit. But he says your bike is now as good as it's going to get. Like there's nothing unless you buy a new bike with new tech.
Yeah.
It's not. And they are sexy. People describe cars as sexy, and I'm like, or that
Them
bike.
bikes.
Look at that bike right there.
That
Yeah.
bike is. I would ride
I
that
see.
bike.
They've been selling a lot.
Literally.
I know the place you're talking about. They're selling a lot of those cool like indoor setups for like when the wintertime was hitting.
Mm-hmm.
Have you tried that?
No, I thought about it.
I have been really thinking about that. Like if I wanted to invest into that. Because I would love, like, wintertime starts getting cold or whatever, icy, to still be able to ride. Of course,
Yes.
you got the whole deal of, okay, you got to have the space, you got to have, have the bike set up to actually ride it, type deal like that.
Yeah.
And the money to actually invest into that.
The Pedalton? No, that's another crap.
That's the Bowflex. Like, yeah, this is that weird thing where you put your bike to it, the back wheel, and it spins it or whatever, and then you just ride. Oh, yeah.
There are
I know they have cheaper options.
yeah.
But like that one is set up to where like you can set it up to like your TV or whatever, and then they can like basically set it up to where it's like a scenery for you basically to watch at instead of just or
They
it
can
does
get really
something
advanced.
Yeah,
too.
they have like a lot of different things they do with it. And, like I think it moves too, like so you can sort of do like you're
Yeah.
turning this and that.
it can do like the resistance if you're going uphill. It can increase.
Yeah.
So those are very expensive or can be. But there are cheaper versions where you are just on a bike doing what we would do with like 2 cylinders, and your bike tire is caught between them, and then they just,
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
So
they
it's
have like
rolling
the
this
really
way.
cheap. You can buy like something off Amazon for like $60, similar to just to be able to do that. But then they have like the really cooler ones with like the better technology for better riding experience, which is just going to cost you a bunch of money.
a lot.
Huh.
But it is a really cool concept.
It is.
And I have been really,
I might put
really,
some money into
really
that.
been thinking about like trying to just sort of save up to be able to invest in something like that because it looks cool. I think that'd be a great idea for like, crappy weather days.
It would. All right. So I was driving over here, and I was driving to my parents' house because I dropped a few things off, and then came back. There were people riding bikes, and I'm like, I'm doing a podcast, and I've never done one. But look at all these people, and I'm like, well, I mean, I need to
I've been seeing a lot of
put
people
new
out.
air in my tires, and then we're set. That's about it.
Yeah, I had to I kept it in the house. Well, I ended up having to move it into the shed. And I've noticed that all my tires are flat. So now I have to get them out
Oh,
and
yeah,
pump
they
them with
pretty cold.
air, see how they make sure they're okay, this and that. Probably just need to replace the tubes. I know I have one tire I should replace. It's not bad. I had it checked out at one point and
If
said
it's
it's not bad. It's okay. But
Your back tire is going to wear out quicker than your front tire,
yeah.
and that is also the more important one because that's where your friction comes from.
Yeah. Oh, good old biking. It's a fun hobby. It ends up
It's
costing
pretty
way
fun.
more than you think it will.
Yeah, I would
Even-
say I've heard like expensive bikes, but like even like upgrading certain things, I'm like, geez. That's
Even
crazy.
Having like a stockpile of like good tubes and stuff just in case. Like I always have a tube when I ride with me, Then you got to have like the little mini pump or whatever. Then
Solar powered.
yeah, this and that. I got the whole little the water backpack thing
yes,
for the water, which I got to clean that freaking thing out too.
You,
Get
you
nasty.
do. Maybe with some chlorine, maybe with I don't know.
I got some white
vinegar.
vinegar. I got some
there.
white vinegar. Yeah, just because there was some bleach and some chlorine.
That'd be good. It's like my expensive hobby is cameras. And, like,
That'll
film
do it.
equipment.
That is expensive.
It's really hard for me to like tell myself to buy something new, just because like it's a hobby that doesn't make me any money. At least not yet. I'd like it to.
It can.
It can.
for sure.
But that's always at the back of my head. Like, if it made me money, maybe I could justify spending $3,000 on a new camera.
Mm-hmm.
But until then, it's like, it's really cool. I really want it.
That's like me with the bike.
Yeah.
Can I, if I wanted to right now, buy a $3,000 bike? Probably, sure. But how much of my savings account am I going to spend?
Yeah.
Like, in addition to that, I can't justify the purchase.
No, yeah.
Like, it
That's always finding
I would
the
not do 1,000 miles on the bike
justification for the
year again.
purpose.
Yeah, and it made sense at the time on a mountain bike. That's about 35 pounds. If I'm doing 1,000 miles for 2 years in a row, maybe I can justify
Mm-hmm.
spending that money. And then it never really happened. And I was like, all right, so maybe next year, instead of getting 500, the third year, the fourth year, maybe I get more than 500. Then I didn't, so I'm like, well, then it's done. Like
Yeah, you didn't do enough.
What's
No,
your goal
yeah.
for this year?
I don't. Well, maybe catching a carp. I don't really have a bicycling goal. I've never caught a
You got
carp.
a fishing goal.
Yes,
Fishing can be expensive.
and it's fly fishing and tenkara rod, which is a Japanese style of fishing. which is
Fishing definitely get
awesome.
expensive.
It's
And of
just a
course
lot
now
of
you got to
fun.
have your license, which ain't too bad, honestly. But still, it's like, okay, I got to have a license to fish.
But you should be able to feed yourself.
Yes.
Yeah. I think that's
Might go to
dumb
work.
that you have to have a license to fish. I understand hunting. But fishing? I don't really get the whole
You
reason
might
why you
like
have to.
hook somebody or catch a shark.
Or catch. Well, it's so there's different types of licenses, and
Yeah.
there's the generalized, and then there's specific. So I have a trout license. Trout can only live in like 2 different locations in Kansas because it's so fucking hot. Like, so there's a stripped mine somewhere about an hour and a half away from here. Maybe it's longer. Anyways, it's like 60 feet deep. So once stocked, they can procreate, they can do their thing, and suddenly you have a population of trout that is present, as opposed to anything that's stocked from Missouri and Arkansas and maybe another state, possibly Colorado. Like, we get their stock here, and you pay basically for the transportation and the stocking of. And then they die. They're going to die here in about 2 months because they can't. 60's hot for them.
Yeah. So like they need it gone before they just die, and then they just gonna have a problem.
And so that's an okay fish to catch because they are actually going to die. And I've filleted 3 fish. It's not my favorite thing to do. There's a surprising amount of blood, but it will actually die regardless, so you might as well make use of it.
And have some trout.
And have some trout.
Fish is so good. Oh my gosh.
So I'm not a huge
Like
I'm not a huge fish fan. I do like some fresh caught catfish though, cooked up, and that is good.
I did accidentally catch a catfish on my Tenkara rod. That was
They're huge too.
unexpected.
Well, they can be.
Catfish, yeah.
That is a big damn fish.
They'll go for
Tenkara
anything.
rod it was.
They'll go for anything. We used to go with like throw like little chunks of hot dog out there, throw fish and catch catfish.
So that's the thing. That's really all it is scent. But for fly fishing, the whole goal is imitation. And my dad bought me, my newest hobby, also requiring money, is fly tying. It's so new that I don't have the money. Like right now,
It's so new. I don't have the money to talk about it.
yeah. It's so he gave me stuff, and then I went to the like a fly tying thing. And then what ended up happening is I realized really damn quick that I don't have the necessary resources to catch trout. That's the whole. The fly fishing kit came with a DVD, hooks, some materials, a vise, but the vise is super tiny and actually require I think it could connect to this table and scar up your wood, but it could. But there was a table that the vise is not the greatest, and I require a mount, and that's additional money to mount that, so I can just put it anywhere as opposed to clamping it on.
Do they have like a scuba diving fishing thing? I could see that being
Spears.
That's
With
just
a
like where you
scuba
scuba
dive with a
dive
spear,
now.
yeah.
And maybe I don't know if they have like a little fishing gun that you just shoot it out where
Like
it
an
just
actual harpoon.
well, no, like where like it just shoots the hook out, and you just kind of push a button and reels it back in slowly.
There's made things like that.
There is why can I not think of it? Bow hunting, you can do that.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
There's a specific method in order to do
Heard
it.
someone, I don't remember who, one of the guys that I worked with talked about doing that once. I was like, that sounds ridiculously hard.
There's noodling, which requires your hand and getting in where the catfish are.
What I want to get into is getting those magnets.
The magnets.
Doing some magnet fishing.
I don't.
Which is not really, you're not catching fish.
That sounds really messed up.
Well, it's like there's certain, like you can get like magnets that you can tie up to your string. You go fish. It's basically to pick up like all the random like metal crap on the bottom of the water source.
Oh, I thought
Just to
like
see,
you
like,
were wanting to eat
no.
a magnet and you
A
just
metal-
magnetize them. Like,
Yeah.
With a super magnet, and just like how uncomfortable would that be? They'd be like an MRI machine ripping.
All the fish, they vaccinate all the fish, so they have metallic in them now. So the magnet catches the.
Ah.
Oh, that's how it works. Vaccinated fish, huh?
Yeah, but no, it's basically just for
Just
like
Mercury.
Yeah.
going in to catch, like see what's potentially on the floor of the lake or river or whatever you're fishing from. See if you can catch any like maybe missing rings or this or that. Any just like random crap you can find.
I gotta find my ring.
You need to make it. You need to do a troll type situation, or is that what? I don't even know what it's called. But you have to do
Hide under
multiple
a bridge?
hooks. Yes, multiple hooks. So when you throw it out there, it catches multiple things as opposed to just one.
How do you reel that in?
There's Oh shit, there's rigs. For fly fishing, I've seen up to 3 hooks. And there's different purposes behind it. There's for trout fishing, you use an indicator or a bobber. And so you've got that, and you're looking at the surface, and then you've got one in the middle, and then you've got one at the bottom that kind of rakes against the bottom gently.
Oh.
And it's typical that you'll get one on the middle or the top of the two, whereas that one is just there for stability.
Yeah.
And when you hit the water column, it will react a certain way. So there's.
Do they have
it can get so advanced.
Do they have like sonar tech for that kind of like fishing or not yet?
For fly fishing, it's.
I can just see like
mainly
someone like
not.
sticking like just doing sonar. I'm like, fish are that way. We're gonna go fishing that way.
I don't think so.
Oh, kind of interesting.
I mean, I know we got top down from a boat. I don't know if we have.
Anything like in?
Well, because if you think about it, sonar works by hitting a surface and coming back. So if you're hitting the side, maybe.
Maybe
I just
find that pocket of fish. They're just hanging out.
There's, and for trout fishing, typically like moving. So if they're in stagnant water, they will do a circle. They'll do loops.
Yeah.
Whereas other fish,
Just kind of scurry around.
they can sit. Trout can't really sit. They require movement. And so it limits their ability in some different types of water.
Because like I've never really gotten into fishing. Like my basic knowledge of fishing is just throw out and reel in. So
There's so much.
I'm kind of
to
curious.
learn.
Like, what is modern day fishing
Man.
like? Do they have like
They
newer
have-
stuff, or is it still just the same?
Some. Fly fishing is the most pure. Tenkara rod would be. There's no reel. It's at the tip of your rod, and it'll just have. It's what's known as a lilian, and you'll attach your. Okay, so it's called a leader when fly fishing. And then there's a different term. I think just line. I could be wrong on that, but I've got a tapered line, and then it goes to tippet, and then it goes to the hook, and so I cast back, and it'll hit a tree sometimes. She's a bitch.
Most of the time.
And so, but if it doesn't, and you're aware of the proximity, and you cast it forward, and it'll go like 15 feet. In addition to, it's a really small Tenkara rod, and it telescopes, so it can be anywhere from like 8.6 to like 10.6, 10 feet and 6 inches.
Huh.
And so that's considered short, 'cause typically they're like 14 feet.
Jeez.
And this is stuff coming from Japan. But if you want to catch a carp, it's like 22 feet. 22 feet long. And you just throw it.
They're just like, we hooked this up to samurai sword.
Nuts. So eventually I'd like one, but I don't know if I can justify it because I could go to a country club and fish. And I have,
Or
and had a lot of success.
So you just don't have a
could.
fishing hole yet.
drop a microwave
Not
into the
for-
river.
Yeah, I burned one of those before.
Electrocute all the fish, you know? Zzz, all the fish come up, you just take
That's
your net.
unethical.
Grenades are a thing too. It's just.
I mean, you know, kids in the river, you know, it's their own fault.
I wonder what a shark would do to a taser. Or if you ever take a taser to a shark.
I don't think it would care much.
Well, just imagine that, like,
I don't know.
Because they're all right. So if
you
you
might think that's a little weird. Like, oh, shoot,
if
that hurt.
if you've petted a dolphin before, which I had the opportunity once on that cruise when I was talking about Jamaica and the art thingy, I did it. We did have the opportunity to feel a dolphin. They have very firm skin, and the reason why is because they need to be able to move in water, and so if you do like a slow motion animation of a human underwater swimming, you'll notice how ripply their skin is. It's
Yeah.
like they were punched, and that's the Matrix, the Agent Smith, and his face kind of tears back. So you've got that shit going on like constantly.
talk about guys who don't watch movies often. Out here, you're talking about that scene in The Matrix with Agent Smith back, and it was
Yeah,
directed by,
So-
and the scene was actually animated by.
And so you've got that, but then you've got a shark, which is probably The same thing.
Yeah, it
is my assumption.
I've petted a shark before.
Oh no shit. So
Well,
it's
I was at an aquarium and they had like one of those little Nerf sharks. It just kind of swam up. We were with the stingrays, but I guess they had one shark there. I got a chance to like touch it for a second. I was like, oh, that's legit.
So it's got so it's a different environment and we cannot compete that way.
I wasn't sure if they would like react to the shock at all. Like, oh, that's weird.
I think it would though, because I mean they also consist of a lot of water, but it's just how permeable is their thick skin compared to ours, in addition to how much gets diffused through the water. And that's when we'd have to ask people who are more inclined for physics and
People who are
shit.
willing to
Maybe
test that
anyone
out
who's
and take
actually
the-
tried to taser something underwater.
Yes, those people. You'd have to water seal that shit too, because the taser would.
just circuit like that's not working.
I wonder why.
Something about water and electronics. I don't know.
Those go together. Come on now.
Purified water's fine.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've seen that. I've seen a video on YouTube, and that was a thing. But he goes, watch me. I can contaminate it simply by putting my hand in.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so we've got, I don't know, he's got like an ohms meter.
Because like
Crap.
water
I'm not
does not
recalling-
conduct electricity at all. It's all the minerals and shit that's in it.
Yes. So it was more conductive. There we go. Thank you. So it was more conductive when he put his hand in, and then he dipped it in again, and it was more contaminated. And then it was just gradually more contaminated. That's what happened.
We need to get a water filter and just like filter things to see what they taste like.
I have distilled water in the back.
I've seen Mountain Dew distilled. I've seen chicken noodle soup distilled.
Right and link.
Yep,
I'm gonna
I
make
can't
more and they
imagine
did a
that
bunch of stuff like
tasting
that.
much different.
They said it did, and it was just kind of like chicken broth.
Yeah.
So
Because like I had to get distilled water from my computer because it's all water cooled, and I was like, I was trying to figure out like what should I put in there or whatever, and I was like, I'll just get distilled water and it's fine.
what
But I
type
got a
of
bunch
rig
extra.
do you require in order to do what you're doing?
The basic.
Really,
The basic.
No.
for like all this equipment, or just like a podcast in general?
Yeah, for what we're doing right now.
I would recommend like a high end kind of setup, like a high end kind of gaming setup. Because these microphones, like recording all the audio equipment, I do separate. And afterwards, they are about like 2 or 3 gigs in file size. Yeah.
No.
And then on top of that, that camera is a 4K camera.
Oh God.
And it can do 30 frames per second. So that's like one of the big issues. Because I tried doing this on my laptop, and occasionally we'd have like frame droppage or something. And it just couldn't keep up with it all. So that's why I was like, you probably, a higher end setup would be best.
How many gigs of RAM? 16, 32?
You could probably get away with 16. I went overboard, but I do a lot of extra special effects and stuff as well.
I see.
Yeah.
So that's where it's like post-processing and all the...
Editing.
That is a huge screen. I don't think I realized that the first time.
Yeah.
A nice curved one.
What the heck? That's like 37?
49.
You're
It's just like a super ultra wide.
Just 12. Just 12 fold. It's just...
Yeah, so like, I mean, if you want to like do like a podcast, you can get away with like something simple, but like if you're gonna go with like a higher end setup, you're definitely gonna need more horsepower, because it definitely takes up a lot of extra.
What CPU?
I have an AMD 3970X.
Mm-hmm.
It's like one of the newer ones. It's a 32 core.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
But like that's an overkill. I was like, since like for our intros and our outros, those clips are in 8K resolution.
What?
Yeah, I made them in 8K. So like
That's
later
why I
on,
went
if
8K.
we upgrade to 8K, because 8K is slowly starting to come out and become more ideal, I'm just like, it'd be nice to have that now.
Already in 8K.
And if we get into that, we can easily switch over and be fine.
Isn't it like all right, so there's a file type called like FLAC or lossless or something?
FLAC and WAVE. Yeah.
Those are the two best. What's the best now? Is it 8K?
DSD,
DSD.
which
And that's
not like barely anybody uses.
because it's not affordable yet. It's at like an industrial
It's
level.
one of those, you need everything to support it in order to hear any of the quality.
Oh.
And like not everything supports it really.
So I have it.
I have like a couple files that are in it, and I just don't have the equipment for it, so it's like I don't even know why I have it.
And real quick, we're talking. That's 8K, or the audio is 8K.
Neither.
Neither. Okay, because
So
I guess I got a little confused.
the intro files and the outro files are in 8K. So you know when our logos pop up and everything, I had done a pre-render of all that in 8K resolution.
Okay, but can the human eye? Aren't there limitations to the human eye and its ability to pick up? Which is at about
Not
4K?
necessarily. It's more of distance and size.
Oh, okay.
So like if you were, I mean, you got to think like our viewing angle is like huge, right? And I think technically our viewing angle, it's like extremely massive, but the amount that we can focus at a time is about like 4K.
Oh.
So like you got to think you got this big old screen in front of you, and if what you focus on is only 4K, well, there's all this as well that you're being shown. So like yeah, technically, but like you got much more information that your eye can also pick up if you were like look around.
Okay. Okay. So distance and size.
Yeah. So like a bigger TV, you would want at higher resolution. Otherwise, you're stretching those pixels, and you're gonna
And
see
looks
it.
like crap.
Yeah. Versus if it's a smaller one, it's like, I could probably get away with 4K or 1080. It's fine.
You know, if those are more affordable down the line, I might get something like that. It's probably I'm sitting at a 27-inch curved, which I was like, I don't know why they're curved. And then someone told me about eyesight and how it operates. It's like, well, it's actually better because if it's flat, you're not going to pick up as much.
Yeah. The only reason why I got that monitor is because of how wide it is. And when it came to like editing all this content, it was so nice to not have two screens, just to have one wide screen and that program just be stretched out. I can literally have everything pulled up, like all my menus and stuff.
Ooh, all
So
right,
instead of like
yes.
opening, closing, and trying to fit everything on, I have so much real estate. That was the only reason why I went with that. Because like, it's technically a 1080 monitor. It's like 1080 by 4K.
Shoot. What was I going to say?
I don't know.
I'm at a loss. Okay, never mind.
Talking about real estate and how much space I had. I don't know.
Yes.
Backtracking to help you out.
No, I lost it.
I'm
It was
completely lost. You guys
tangentially
lost
related.
me.
It was tangentially related, but it wasn't directly related.
Yeah, I was like, so like I haven't like done a whole lot of like that special effects stuff in a hot minute. Cause I was used to do a lot of videos growing up. Like I had like all my friends, we were like acting and doing like home videos. And then when I joined the Air Force, well, I lost all my actors, so I had to come up with something new, which got me into like special effects. And then sometime down the line, we decided
Then you
to
can
do
make your
this.
own friends with special
Yeah.
effects.
Actually,
I have
I
my
was
own
looking into
friends now.
doing the deep fake stuff.
And
I haven't been very successful in it. It's they make it sound so easy, but it's actually really complicated.
So we could try to do is just change his face to look like someone else's with deep fake.
It's very time consuming. Like if we were to do this podcast with a deep fake, like I don't even know how long
you
that
would
would take.
require like what a server to make it visually different, like a server farm or whatever the hell they're called for like special effects. When you're like, I want this
render
thing.
farm.
There we go. Thank you.
But the great thing about today's computers is they've managed to basically be their own little supercomputer. So you really don't need a server anymore. Just a really high-end computer. It's just like that kind of thing requires, like the longer it runs, the better it's going to look. So like it'll start with like a little rough scratch of someone's face on yours, and then it'll go through and make improvements, and they'll keep doing it over and over. So to like I think we're at an hour and a half, almost 2 hours long of footage. Oh my goodness, that'd be ridiculously long. Everything I've seen with deep fakes is pretty much like a minute long. And they say it takes like weeks for them to get it to look as good as they got it.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So sometime next year.
Yeah,
this podcast will be out.
your face will be Thomas's face.
Who is
Tom
this?
Cruise,
There's
whatever.
2 Thomases?
3 Thomases right here.
Just all my fit. Yeah, no, that'd be a horrible
You
podcast.
gotta change you gotta change the name then. That's like an April Fool's one.
I actually had to
Or
explain to
change-
somebody recently why we're called brothers by law. I
Because
was like, Thomas is my brother-in-law.
That's
and we're
exactly
brothers
what
by
I-
law.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I don't know if you ever explained that. And the other one's like, no, I don't think we ever thought about explaining that.
Well,
So
see,
I
I-
just like,
I had
First.
the
inclination was
thing. It was like they actually saw who I was, and they're like, "Oh, so you're not the talented one." I was like, "Oh, okay, bro."
who said that?
Someone on one of my game chats like, "Oh." I was like, "All right, dude, I got you." I'll see how it is.
That's interesting because
well, fuck you.
I'm not gonna lie. I always felt
But you're
weird.
right.
I always felt weird being in front, like of the camera, the whole podcast thing. Because normally I'm like behind the camera and I'm doing all the post processing stuff. Occasionally I'd be in front, but it's kind of weird being here and we like sit there and talk. I'm like, man, I don't know. This isn't really my cup of tea, but
Well, it is weird. There's a bright light, there's a bright light, there's a bright light, there's a camera, and you're somewhat conscientious of it, and you gotta do as the one in the middle.
yeah.
Gotta oscillate like a fan.
Also, like, someone was saying like, or my buddy from the last podcast was saying we need like a U-shaped table.
that
Yeah.
was gonna be what I was gonna suggest.
I was like, yeah, we should do that.
What I
Originally, I was
like-
gonna have like 2 per side, and this was gonna be orientated differently. But I was like, no, what if we're facing the camera? I wonder how that's gonna look. So far, I don't know. I kind of like
Maybe
facing
the-
the camera. However, I definitely think we do need a U shape.
Just start now. Just chopping
But what if we
stuff.
get a U shape upwards? Like,
What? What? you want to sit on the walls or something?
yeah, this would be funny. Like they're like, oh, let's get a U table, so we just to mess with people.
Just an actual U.
Get like an actual U just because.
Today's
like a half pipe.
podcast is brought to you by the letter U.
You know, if we ever get a U-shaped table, we'll say that.
If,
Today's podcast is brought to you by the letter U, as in you should subscribe.
oh.
Ah, nailed it.
Good job. That was a good
So
one.
real quick, how long are we going for? And
I don't
should we
know.
Try
Probably should start
the
wrapping
hot
it up.
sauce.
Yes.
I imagine we're probably good like hour and a half in at this point, at least.
Yeah, I was like
viscous.
keeping kind of track of the time. I was like picking up my hand because I was painting earlier, and I got paint.
And
all
so
over.
now our guest is going to try the Mad Dog 357
Yeah,
that we
like
both
a
died on.
moron.
I've died on multiple times. Don't do a whole bunch. I'm just going to tell you right now.
Oh, it smells.
Don't drop a
like
whole
it's got
lot
some
on there.
habanero.
Do a little dab.
Like that's good.
a little dab.
That's a bit. But
No, that's good. That's man. You can
that's
put more
probably
on
about
there.
what I did.
Yeah.
You can put more than that. Yeah, you always have the choice.
That's
It's just,
about what I did.
Ah,
I'm
piss.
debating if I want to join you or not, but
Well,
You were like straight on, tongue contact right on it. Just
good flavor though, right?
I mean, I guess. Momentarily. Oh. Yep.
is this gonna be like a?
We're gonna make everybody
every
have to take
episode
some of this
thing.
now.
Like,
This
all right,
is-
at the end of the podcast, you will die.
This is something I volunteered for. I was too
You're just
curious.
I gotta try it.
Till your tongue starts hurting.
So-
Your tongue's gonna hurt.
So what's his nuts? Alton Brown was on Hot Ones, and he was talking about how fat, basically, water doesn't help at all. Actually, makes it worse. But it's capsaicin is water or Jesus, it is fat soluble. So your goal, he was drinking half and half. Why? Because the fat content is really high. So you don't want water. I'd be more inclined to drink. Oh God, that label's also in German.
He's like, I don't even know
That's
what's in this.
Not helpful, man. So it would have been better if I had this bacon soda with chocolate.
You done messed up.
Actually, I think because last time I did it at home, like I was just like, I'm gonna eat this again just because. And what I did was we had like those little mini like Hershey chocolate things, like little ones, and so I ate one of those. I was like, wonder if this will help. So I'm not a real big milk drinker. It's like, well,
Milk
there's chocolate. Let me try
is
chocolate.
Great.
I've heard that's debatable.
for it. Well, yeah, I mean it helps, but also it's weird.
I
if
ate
it
that
sits in your
chocolate,
mouth.
and it definitely helped out a lot more than like the water did. Though what I find with water, as long as it's just in your mouth and like on your tongue, it's okay. Like it helps if it's just on your tongue and you're not talking or anything.
I could see that. Talking probably
Look,
like
a
the
little
worst
red
thing you
there,
could do. Cleared the sinuses. I thought they were clear too.
No, now you realize they're not.
Yeah.
So that's the hottest thing you've had? Or no?
I don't think so. But it might be. It's not like I seek these things out.
No,
Neither do I.
I'm sad because this isn't the one I wanted.
The what?
The one I wanted is hotter.
We'll go to the place that I'll tell you after the podcast.
I know that place we talked about. Yeah, I'm gonna check that out.
Because here's my thing. All right, so there was one. I don't even know why we were in Kansas City, but we were, and there was a $400. You know the big ass Death Star Lego.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I think so, yeah.
I've considered getting back into Lego, but I mean,
like
once
a newer
you
one or an older one?
it's fucking huge. Maybe an older one because it was like 2 or 3 years ago or something. And so time had passed. So my eyes are watering, and I think it's because I'm exhaling.
Talking just makes it so much worse.
Which is so unhelpful. But all right, we got. There was this guy, and it's like, take the challenge, and you get a sticker. That's on my beer fridge, my little mini fridge that I took to the D&D Dungeon Master's house. Lugged that shit all to the west side, lugged it down a heavy flight of stairs, put it in a corner, and now if I buy beer or any sort of drink or anybody buys a drink, they're free to put it in the fridge. So it's there. So I've got that sticker still from whatever this thing is. This guy you had a cracker and he gives you a sauce, and it's one of those challenge sauces because it's clearly extract like this one is. The woman yesterday told me that it's better if you look for the stuff that has the actual peppers in it and not extract, because then it's going to be a better flavor. But if you're going for heat, just straight heat, that's when you've got the extract. And oh my god,
When does the Death Star come into this?
Yeah, I totally lost. We're talking about the Death Star somewhere.
We went to Kansas City, and there was a mall, which I didn't clarify, but we entered a mall, and there was some Legos, and then put past the Legos, and seeing like the display unit fully. It's a big ass thing.
Huh.
The Death Star is I don't know, but all I know is it's big and it's about $400. So we've got that, and I'm like, someday I'm gonna get you. But after that, I'd probably just sell it because honestly, I don't play with the Legos afterwards. The whole goal is to
Put it together. Yeah.
And so, but then it's fucking huge. So then it's like, all right, cool. Someday I'll make a mental note. And then there's this hot sauce thing that this guy has, a little bottle, and he's just like, here it is. Try it, and you get a sticker. I'm like, this is dumb. Okay, I'll do it. I did it, and I got the sticker. And then no one else did it, and I was like, fine.
So you still haven't got the Death Star, though?
Don't have the Death Star.
It's
But then it's going to take up space.
Yeah.
And where I'm going to put it, I got a coffee
Hang it
table.
from your ceiling. Make it look like a...
I'd have to get a flat surface that is clear. And then I've got to put a cage around it so that you can adhere, you attach it, but then it wouldn't. And then maybe I'd get an elevator so that I can display it.
Wait, what?
So that it comes down from the ceiling.
Oh,
okay,
yeah,
it
this has
goes-
gotten tense.
Yeah, because otherwise you just see it, but you don't see all the layers because there's floors.
You gotta have it like...
It's gotta rotate. And
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
Have the
like a
music
lazy
playing.
Susan. And then yes. It's the heat has subsided for the most part.
Yeah, your tongue just hurts.
Well, it's uncomfortable, and it's like it hurts, but it's just mild. And
Mildly
yeah, my
uncomfortable.
nose is still red.
See, what it is to me is it makes my tongue hurt.
It's not hurting. It just.
This is like, oh, my tongue hurts. Like, why does my tongue hurt?
But I know exactly where it is. I know exactly where I placed that on my tongue.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely do.
I will. Oh, so you guys, if you want others, I mean, okay, so the hot ones, they have their merchandise and the hot sauces that
They've been slowly adding their own
Yes,
sauces, which is really cool.
awesome.
And everyone's saying like their sauces taste so much better than the other ones.
which isn't surprising. I guess there's a dedication that they have to it, and he doesn't want like piss poor performance, so he's like,
I like the one that like
Let's-
everyone thinks is disgusting is Da Bomb.
yes,
That's so gross, but it's hot.
that's the whole purpose of it. That has some flavor. I had the opportunity to buy Da Bomb yesterday, and I chose not to because why the hell would I buy that?
It's just disgusting. Like, if
Why
it's
would
got
I
a good
kill
flavor,
myself?
yeah, I'm down for it. But yeah, the bomb disgusting. It's just hot.
Alton Brown complimented both of the hot sauces. I think they had one at 5 and I had one at 10. They're hot ones and had ginger, and he was able to take it apart because he has a tongue for that type of stuff. And he's like, the moment he said ginger, I'm like, well, I want to do that one. But also, it's number 10.
It's super hot.
Fucking, yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I'm
So-
not down for hot
So
stuff.
no.
That one was an exception just for the episode, and I'm okay with that.
Until I
I'm not gonna
secretly
go
add
on more.
hot sauce to your stuff one day and burn.
I'll take that over caffeine pills.
Caffeine pills. You can overdose on caffeine. You can
Oh.
overdose on a lot of things.
Yeah, someone put caffeine pills in my drink once. I
Oh.
caught them, but I was like, you know what? I'll be a good sport and I'll have it. So I drank it, and I felt like I was gonna die. I remember I was at work, so I
The
decided to stop working and just sit in the office. I was just sitting there, just like, I don't want to move. I'm so shaky right now.
That's at the point where it's like, okay, I better do something.
I had when I met Thomas, we were working at the same company, and I was on Adderall at the time, and then I drank coffee because it's cold as hell. It was just fucking cold in the warehouse, and you're dealing with metal, and so it's also cold, and so you've got to. I could drink. I had this option every single day. I could have drank hot water, but that's boring as hell. And so
Yeah, hot water is very boring.
it's super.
That just
boring.
sounds super. Like I'd like a glass of hot water.
Sounds
please.
great during deployments, though.
Like- hot water.
I'm sure, yeah. It like utilitarian wise, like sure, hot water makes a whole lot of sense. Tried it. Why would I ever drink this again? Temperature, like room temp water,
It's like,
tastes
eh.
better. I don't know. It just, but hot water's like blah. Like why?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So you've got a bit of flavor in your coffee. You also obviously have caffeine. And so the combination of the Adderall, 20 mil, and the caffeine, I had to like meter my intake
He's like, nope, I'm done.
of, yeah, otherwise I would be jittery and it'd be like, God.
That's something I had to do when I get back from deployments, because during my deployments I'll drink coffee, except it's that crappy,
Nestea.
someone made coffee. It wasn't that great or anything. There's not much caffeine. So when I get here, like my coffee's got a lot of caffeine in it. But I wouldn't know how to regulate myself. So I ended up like giving myself panic attacks because I'd be drinking too much.
Oh.
So like every time I get back from deployment, I have to like ease into it. I'm like, nope, can't drink that much. I know it tastes good. I know it's your coffee, but you gotta be careful.
I can, in a setting that's like an hour and a half. Typically, I go to a place for breakfast, and I can drink my own carafe of coffee, but it has to be, I don't know, not immediate. So I drink a little before the meal, I drink during the meal, and I drink after the meal. And basically, I set up my stomach, even though I'm pouring more acid into it because it's coffee.
Yeah.
I'm letting things cool down, and and then after I've basically killed the craft, I'm like, cool, pay for it, and I'm out. There's it's a
Gotta
ritual.
call a limit. Yeah. I got you. Thomas, you got anything else before we close it up?
Oh, we're still going.
Oh, wait, you offering him to try it?
I thought we were done already.
We got to do a close, man.
Well, dang. I've been zoned out.
Dicking around on
Oh
his
my
phone for a
gosh.
while.
I can't wait to look back and just watch you just...
I was just gonna sort of sitting there zoned out, like staring at my phone. I thought we were done.
No!
God, okay.
We got to do the closeout. That's why I was like asking real quick.
All right, well, yeah, I guess we're done here. I thought we had just naturally finished, and it was
Hey,
gonna
if you guys
end up
got a
cutting
fun
out.
hobby, let us know in the comment section down below, or if you're listening to it on a podcast platform, check out our Facebook and leave a comment there.
Yeah, I guess we're done now.
All right, thank you for enjoying the podcast, because I know you did. Now go ahead and go to www.brothersbylawproductions.com. That's our fancy, cool website. In that website, you can find links to our merchandise. Currently is Amazon. You can find links to our latest YouTube videos. I try to keep that updated with new videos. And we have all the places you can find the podcast, as well as all our social media links. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, all that good stuff. Make sure to like, follow, and subscribe to all of those.
And if you want to help us out, we have a Patreon as well, a $5 tier, which includes a Discord, a video, and a personal email, and a shout out on our episodes. A $10 tier, which includes all that, plus a t-shirt. And if you are feeling extra frisky with your money, you can give us a $20, and you'll get a plaque signed by us, as well as access to our Discord, a video, and an email with a shout out.
Go ahead, check us out. Thank you for watching.